So, nothing too major or anything. I should be able to cast just fine, but if you find me muting or anything like that, then you know why. So, spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing for Team Revolution, it is KeeN. KeeN sort of, he's been around. He's one of those players who's been around a long time. He's been a player who's always given it his absolute all, and that's one of the things we love to watch about KeeN. But he recently took the previous Afreeca World. He's had some fantastic showing in GSL, even though not necessarily the best results. But he's one of those players who's just can be solid at a lot of times, can show some absolute fantastic games, and then and lately he's looking really good. So it's going to be exciting to see him play versus his opponent here, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, playing for Team Titan X. It is Leenock. Leenock is another player who's been around a very long time. Now, he also, being in the GSL, so both these guys still got it, that's for sure. Now, as far as these two going head-to-head, if I had to guess so far, from the recent form and showing, I'd say KeeN would be most likely to take it. Leenock, on the other hand, could certainly take it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a complete wash or anything like that, but I think KeeN's going to be a little bit favored just with the recent showing. But then, of course, Leenock is one of those guys who can always come back and maybe just completely change the course of change our expectations, I guess. So the map is Catalyst. It's the map that's probably the most fleshed out at this point in StarCraft 2. I mean, a few of the other maps were cycled out. This one's been in here for, I think, 2 seasons, maybe 3. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but so it's a map the players are very comfortable with. It's quite a straight up map. As far as the races being favorite, I mean, it completely depends on the style. I mean, before, if it was just the era of, say, Bio, Terran versus Zerg, we might say that Terran's a little favorite on this map, or if it was, say, the Turtle Zerg era with roaches and infestors, we'd say, okay, maybe it's the Zerg that is going to be favored on this. But it really does depend how the players will play. Maybe if KeeN puts on the aggression, the map could be good for Leenock, because it's sort of a very straightforward map. There's not too much room for much of anything to be done. But then, of course, KeeN could always go for something like that late-game Ghost style, which Terrans have certainly made Zergs regret playing it long on this map. So it really comes down to how these guys are going to play. So far, KeeN coming in with the Reaper may actually get a drone. Not quite. Leenock probably done this 1,000 times, managing to save that drone. It did get dangerously low, but so far KeeN just scouting out with the Reaper, seeing the third base is getting up, and Leenock doing what he needs to do. So we'll just have to see how this match is going to develop going forward. Let me just double check the sound and everything. Everything is good. Thanks to everyone for tuning on in, by the way. This is the first best of 5. Then we're going to have another best of 5 and a best of 7. So nice little StarCraft. I don't know what a good word would be. It's like a vacation almost. We just, every now and then, we'll just have one of these tournaments. They're just the right length. They're just very, very enjoyable. So KeeN going for those Hellions. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a third CC relatively soon. We could always see a Medivac, I was going to say, as that Medivac sort of drop style. And there's also an Armory on the way, so KeeN will be turning on the aggression. He's not opting for a super quick third command center, although I wouldn't be surprised to see one follow this up. But he is going to be putting on a bit of aggression here. This one Hellion. Where's the other Hellion? Okay, so he's got one Hellion. He'll have a few more moving out, but he's going to want to make a few more. So he's going to have this Medivac, some Hellions, so he is going to be putting on a bit of pressure. Medivacs add a lot of strength into these Hellbat pushes. Now the question is, will Leenock be ready? He's not making any Zerglings, but he is making 3 Queens at a time. As far as what he's already got, he does only have 3, but he'll have 9 Queens, or 6 Queens, pardon me. Math is hard. Yeah, so he'll have 6 Queens. I mean, they can focus down to Medivac relatively quickly. Now, we'll have to see what KeeN's going to do here. He could always just run into the natural and try and get something done. Now, Leenock's making Lings, but he's not really aware of what's coming. He now sees these Marines. He sees the Hellbats morphing, so he's going to be panicking. The Baneling Nest just going up right now, so he's going to know he's in a bit of trouble. Losing the Overlord could actually supply block him a little bit. He's started another already, but right now he's just making these Lings, and it's really all about the engagement here. Queens are going to be able to focus that Medivac. One of the Queens has fallen. There's not much transfuse on these yet, and the Lings are just getting absolutely roasted here. Some of the Hellbats are getting weak, and the Medivac went down there. The Queens did their job. The question is there enough to clean up the rest of this? And it looks like there is. That really looked like KeeN might have might have been able to run away with it there, but no. Leenock actually having enough. The Queen's so tanky, managing to get it done. KeeN, without that medivac support, his attack sort of faltered. And now he's got the third CC just starting. He invested in that attack, so that's a little bit behind. And so he's not in a great situation. Now, Lings are going to actually intercept these Hellions, which is huge. This could give a lot of counterattack potential for our Korean Zerg here. And Leenock, I think, is actually just going to try and end it here. And I think that's actually a fantastic call looking at this. Banelings are already morphing here. I would like to see Leenock actually focus the command center because it can't be repaired while it's being built, but he is just making Banelings. He's going to try and bust right now. KeeN, he does have a wall off right now. The question is he going to be able to repair through these Banelings? 6 is is basically the bare minimum you need to defend this. Will KeeN be able to repair these? And he isn't in time. Unfortunately, that was just too much DPS there. Now Lings are getting in. SCVs are pulled. KeeN, good micro so far, getting those Marines back so they can put out as much damage, but the losses for the SCVs that are buffering is pretty huge already. He's lost 12. He will clean this up by the looks of it. He's going to need to get a wall started immediately, and he will. But he did take a little bit too much damage there from the scheme of things. He has his third CC on the way, but Leenock didn't commit too much to that attack. He's already got a lair. He's droning up. He's going to be able to reach that sort of 60-70 drone mark relatively quick. Start a 4th base, and in fact, he just did that. He started a macro hatchery as well. So Leenock, he's sort of going to be running into the late game macro, and KeeN, he did take a bit of a blow here, so it'll be a while before he starts to be able to push out, and Leenock may just be able to intercept him from that point on. We'll have to see how this is going to sort of time out for KeeN, as losing those SCVs did set him back quite a bit from the scheme of things. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't lose those SCVs, if he'd already have his extra racks or 2 on the way. He's getting his 1-1 now, so the players will be on equal upgrade timing here. And he's got a good number of Marines, but he's still down on the SCV count, so he's going to have to make plays happen with what few units he does. He's actually ahead on army supply by a significant amount. Leenock's teching to the Hydralisk Den, but he's not making any more Lings, so he needs to be careful not to be caught by a move out from KeeN. He's making Widow Mines. He's just making a lot of bio here. He's got Combat Shield on the way, so he may be able to hit a good 1-1 timing, but once these Hydras come out, it will be very difficult for KeeN to sort of stifle the Zerg who's going to be pushing out. Hydralisk's already on the way, a good number of Lings as well. So Leenock is getting ready for this. Creep spread is going to help Leenock sort of defend this right now. His 4th base, I mean, it's relatively sort of just isolated here, and KeeN is moving up north to intercept this, but this is a relatively... this is a squishy bit of bio here. It's possible that Leenock could just collapse on top of this. This is a good amount of Lings. Widowmine may actually get caught out. That's pretty huge there. Leenock not having to wonder about this. And there's actually no medivacs with this. Well, they're just joining up now, so that bio is going to have to be careful here. Now, Leenock may have overcommitted or may have committed a little bit too early, but he does have the Queens. He does have a few Hydras coming out, but he doesn't have quite enough just yet. And it looks like he is going to lose his hatchery. Widowmines may actually connect on Hydras, getting some fantastic connections. The army of KeeN is relatively weak, so I doubt it's going to be able to really get on top of this. But he's actually doing a good job pushing forward. One of those medivacs went down from the scheme of things, so the rest of this army is going to be pushed back here. However, he got the 4th base. He got the bit of damage he needed done, and that's a pretty significant blow here. Now, Leenock starting to rebuild that base, and that was another massive Widowmine hit there. Those 2 Widowmines actually did a good bit of damage to the Hydras there. It's not often you see Widowmines deal a lot of damage to Hydras. There's a reason why Terran don't make them, but they got the shots there, and KeeN just hit a little bit too early. Leenock maybe a little bit too greedy there, not prepared for an attack like that. Maybe he thought he had more time with the SCVs he killed. Two medivacs are out on the way, so KeeN just keeping that ball rolling. He's making some bio. He doesn't have a ton of production. He's on the typical Terran 3 racks, but he's getting up another factory. Well, the 5 racks, pardon me. He's getting up another factory. He's getting up another CC, so he could take this game later if he wants, but he may just be able to punish Leenock for the damage he did earlier. 2-2 is on the way for both players, so Leenock's got a decent army right now, and it's going to be quite scary for KeeN to engage with just this bio and mines, but it really will come down to the mines in this, as there's not too many Banelings for Leenock here. The creep's been cleaned up a bit, and he's actually going for it, and there's so many Widow Mines here. This is so risky. Some of the Widow Mines dealing a bit of friendly fire, but just enough of the Banelings. It looks like they managed to roll forward, and KeeN didn't split properly enough, so Leenock actually taking a very good fight there. Reducing that bio count dramatically. Or drastically, pardon me. So we've got 40 more lings on the way for Leenock. It's possible he may just want to end this game and not have to deal with that late game Terran. KeeN's going for a bit of a desperation drop, if I say. Not necessarily desperation, but it's he's really hoping this is going to get something done, because in order to commit for something like that, he does not have that much back at home. So if Leenock was counterattacking, but he's not, so this is going to work out for KeeN from the looks of things. He may be able to pick off the spawning pool, and alright, pick off. No, he actually does have to get out. He's picking off a few lings at the 4th base with a nice drop. If he does pick off the 4th base, that would be huge, as Leenock has not started a 5th base just yet, but it looks like that the base will be saved. These Hydras coming in, trying to be heroes, but not going to be able to, or those Marines won't be able to take it down. So KeeN is a player who can get a lot of drops off. He's one of these guys who can multitask. It's just suddenly, you just realize how much he's doing at once, but for now he is just looking for a little bit of an angle here with these drops. He's got up his 4th base, but, well, it hasn't landed just yet, and the Terran's 4th base isn't really secure until it's a planetary with enough SCVs to repair it. This drop is going on at the north, but there's enough lings to push it back, as it was just one medivac. Now KeeN pushing into the center here. Really trying to distract Leenock here, but I don't think Leenock's going to take the bait this time. He's going in for the 4th, and he should be able to kill this off relatively easily with all these Hydralisks. And now we're going to be entering a bit of a pseudo-base trade. However, this does look like it's going to be in the favor for Leenock here, as it's not that big of an army that KeeN has on his opponent's side of the map. Leenock may just be able to clean this up with his production. He's morphing 21 Banelings somewhere. Actually, those are morphing, yeah, at his 4th base. So with all these Banelings finishing up, he should be able to clean this up. Widow Mines are actually being detonated by these rallied lings, and now Leenock's actually dealing a lot of damage across the map on KeeN's side. Now it looks like KeeN should be able to clean up these Hydras, but so both these guys are actually going to be losing their army. These Banelings are rolling forward. KeeN going to micro to the best of his ability. Going to try and sort of bait out some of those shots there. But losses-wise, it looks like KeeN did take the sort of worst end of things. He did just pick up the spawning pool of Leenock, which is nice, so Leenock's economy, or his production, is really going to be stifled. He's just going to have to make Hydras for a time, but KeeN did take a lot of damage. He lost his 4th base, so he isn't ever going to be able to get that up. It's going to be a while off anyways. He's just now on 40 SCV production. It's going to be getting pretty desperate for him. He may even try and float his main at some point, but Leenock is still just solid enough that I don't think KeeN's going to be able to make too many plays happen. Maybe some good drops, but Leenock's probably going to be looking out for that. Leenock could possibly overextend here, and that would be quite a mistake right now. He is down on army supply. He's not able to make a good number of lings just yet. He's just making Hydras, but he is on 3-3 already, as he did get an infestation pit, or he's heading into 3-3. He got his hive. So Leenock looking in an alright situation, assuming this fight goes his way, which is the pretty big ifs. These Banelings sort of, they were distracted by a few Marauders, so there's actually quite a few Marines left, and actually GG, KeeN takes it with that last engagement. I mean, it's sort of hard to say there, but that was pretty sudden. I guess Leenock maybe engaged a little bit too soon there, so KeeN managing to take the first game. That was a bit of a wonky game, hard to call for me, but I promise I'll warm up a bit. So we're going to be getting on into the next map, which is actually Leenock's pick. KeeN had the first map pick, and Leenock's pick is Acid Plant. And this is a map in which Zergs can be pretty comfortable on. It's I guess sort of hard to call, as it's not the most typical design. I guess it's really 2-based focused, as taking the 3rd can be a bit challenging. The rallying can be a bit challenging too. But we are going to get on into the next map here. And thanks to everyone for tuning on in. This is the 16th Afreeca World. My name is LaughNgamez. I'm the caster and host of these tournaments. But yeah, thanks to everyone for tuning on in. This is that was a great first game. We'll see, maybe this one will be a little bit more direct than the last one. because that last one was a little wonky with that sort of odd base trade. These guys both trying to make plays happen, but ultimately it really did. It looked like it was going Leenock's way, but then that last engagement I think was maybe just a little bit too soon. If he sat back, I think his economy would have pushed him forward. Both these guys are ready. By the way, we're going to get on into the next game in this best of 5. But here we are. So, managing to take the first game. It was a bit of a wonky one, but he came out on top, spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map. It is KeeN for Team Revolution. And his opponent, playing for Titan X, it is Leenock, the Leenock-topus. So we'll just have to see how this game is going to work out. I mean, Acid Plant, I don't think we'll see something as base tradey, just because of the way the pathing works. I mean, the armies have to travel quite a way around if they sort of want to go. There's not quite as many just paths to like the 4th to the 3rd to the natural that these guys made use of. So I think this will be a little bit more direct, a little bit more head-on clashing than the previous game. And I shall be back in just 1 second here. My apologies there. I just had to get up to grab a drink, as always. A lot of StarCraft to cast today. Can't be having my voice die on the first game. So we'll see how this is going to go between these two guys. KeeN scouting out now. Maybe a little bit worried about what Leenock's going to do. He's throwing up that command center now. Reapers on this map aren't the best thing. Terrans, I wouldn't be surprised if some Terran players opted to skip them. Personally, I haven't seen too many TVZs on this map. But as far as the Reaper going out, I mean, there's only so much it can do. Leenock will likely have his queen out by the time this Reaper makes it across the map. I mean, it can jump up and down the cliffs, but really just scouting out the 3rd base is all the Reaper's going to do. It's just very easy for Zergs to defend this. The Reaper can't really dive on in either, as it's just got to go all. Yeah, it's not the best map for Reapers. Now, this SCV for KeeN was actually very cute, though, as he blocked the 3rd base building, and now he's actually going to go a little bit BM, build a bunker there. The Reaper's actually trying to hit on into the natural. Now, the drone's going to fight this SCV, and I'm not sure who's going to come out on top. That Reaper, if it can get inside a bunker there, that would be quite a pain for KeeN. Now, the Reaper's actually heading toward the alternate 3rd base, seeing that's not up just yet, and Leenock not poking out with the Lings because the Reaper currently has the speed advantage. Now, is KeeN going to let this bunker finish? If he does, he can always just salvage it later, so you may as well for now. And I mean, that's just going to permanently block Leenock from taking the 3rd, particularly if he parks his Reaper at the other location. Leenock also doesn't have an idea if this bunker was finished up or not. He's getting out Ling speed, though, so this Reaper won't be able to deny the base forever. Leenock's just droning up, as he is stuck on the 2 bases for now. This is a cute play from KeeN. Now, this Reaper may actually run into the bunker here. Oh my gosh, KeeN is doing a double block. This is actually so cute. I love it when players do this. Now, the Reaper's going to move out of his little safe spot here to try and harass these Lings. With good micro, KeeN may be able to do just that. It looks like he will have to cancel the bunker, but the Reaper may be able to fight these Lings if he micros well. The Hellions are actually here in time, and the 3rd base gets denied. That drone goes down. Leenock is in a very poor position right now. He immediately throws up some more gases. He knows he's going to be stuck on 2 bases for a while, but he's not been producing too much. These Hellions may be able to get some drones. Now, it's just 2 Hellions getting in. So far, we've seen 2 drones go down, but so far, KeeN is dealing a lot of damage to Leenock early on in the game. Now, that one Hellion's still scouting out. Seeing that there's no lair just yet. Seeing there's no 3rd base. But now these Hellions getting into the natural. Fantastic lineup there. Killing off 5 drones there. We're seeing 8 go down. And this is a horrible spot for Leenock here. KeeN is just teching up back at home. He's got a Cloak Banshee to follow it up. A lair starting for Leenock because why not? You don't have a third base yet. You have to do something. He's trying to take the other location, but the drone is blocked here. He takes the alternative third. He's still got a drone working at the other one, but the losses for Leenock have been huge. Just look at the resources lost. Stimpack on the way for KeeN, so he's going to be attacking. Third CC is on the way too, so he's just going to be content to follow this up with macro, and even if Leenock goes for something like an all-in, it will be so sort of just late, I guess, not sort of initially planned, that it just wouldn't be successful, I don't think. And now look at this. This is actually so cute. The Banshee working away in the Evo chamber, going to clear up some creep. That's actually very nice. Getting those 3 tumors is actually huge. Leenock not canceling them was a bit of a mistake, but for now he's going to be in a bit of trouble. But he's going for the Nidus. We'll see if KeeN's able to defend from this. He's got the 2 Banshees, but Leenock is trying to block this off, trying to make sure that it's not scouted. He will likely lose his third base, though. We'll see. If it gets up, it can be transfused, and I think it will be. These queens have a lot of energy to them. The Banshees are going to have to retreat. Now, back at home, there is an Overlord, only one, so it's going to have to be in the natural likely, or he is going to make an Overseer. So we'll see. Is KeeN going to be able to defend this? He does have the 1 tank out already, so that just sort of shows how this attack is going to be a little bit late, as KeeN's production is already kicking in. He'll have a tank out. Usually a Terran won't have a tank out already when the Zerg is going for something like a straight-up Nidus. Now, the Nidus has started. It's been scouted by KeeN. Now, whether he really scouted it is the different question. The third base is under a lot of fire here, and it could actually be a bit of a base trade right now. Hellions are getting into the natural. He sees the roaches. He now knows that the Nidus is out with that sound. Tanks are getting set up, though, and breaking 2 tanks is going to be pretty tough for KeeN. For Leenock, pardon me. SCVs are pulled. KeeN can afford a huge amount of losses as long as he holds this attack. He's going to reposition his tanks. It's a little bold, though, keeping these tanks stacked up, as there now is Ravagers out here, but GG gets called. KeeN takes the second game. That was just a bit of a train wreck for Leenock there, as I mean, that's really all you can say. It was not good for Leenock. KeeN sort of just ran away with the game with that cute little play, just blocking the third base. That just throws the Zerg player off so much. So the third map is going to be 16-bit. That was KeeN's pick. I guess this is the first Afreeca World on the new map pool, or is it the second? We had one 2 weeks ago, so yeah, I guess. Is this the second? I can't quite remember if we did the last Afreeca World, but these certainly are some newer maps, so I guess the players are still probably figuring these out to a degree, although they've been out for around 2 weeks or so. But yeah, so we'll just have to see how this is gonna play out. Whether Leenock's gonna have to bring it back. Well, gonna be able to bring it back. Alrighty. Both players are ready. We're going to get right on into it. This could be a quick... I mean, we've had some pretty quick best of 5s in this tournament. All in Afreeca World in general. We've had some quick matches. We've had some long ones too, but every now and then we get a quick 3-0. I sort of thought that KeeN may just be a little bit of a caliber above Leenock here. Now, I mean, the last game certainly could have gone Leenock's way. But here we are. We're getting on into the next one. It's now going to be up to Leenock to try and bring it back from a deficit. And I've already said his name, spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map. It is Leenock, playing for Titan X. And his opponent, KeeN, spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map, playing for Team Revolution. So, we've got the in-base natural. That's always worth mentioning. Zerg players do tend to take the outer base for the creep spread. Otherwise, taking your third base later is a little bit dicey. The Zergs like to sort of have... It's easier for them to defend the back base from drops and harassment and stuff if that is their third. So we'll just have to see. And Leenock will be taking the outer one. There's no surprise there. And KeeN, as far as his play, I wouldn't be surprised if we just see a standard Reaper. Maybe some harassment with maybe Liberators or drop harassment. It's not a super all-in-y map, to my knowledge. We have seen some later games on it. So we'll just have to see how this one's going to play out here. Build-wise, pretty standard stuff coming out of these guys, nothing really worth noting. The question is, will Leenock go for something on 2 bases, or will he go for a third? I mean, when the third base is tough to scout for Terran, because the Reaper isn't likely going to get in. Well, I guess it could jump up here, but it is possible. But Leenock could maybe go for an all-in or something like that, but I guess the Reaper could always get in and scout the third. Or scout for a third. If Leenock does decide to go for a 2 base. I wouldn't mind the Nidus or something like that, but I have a feeling Leenock's not going to go for that, but we'll see. Overlord sees the Reaper, so Leenock knows that's going to be jumping on in here. He's got his Queen started, Ling's on the way. Now a drone's actually moving out. Leenock's actually going to take the more outer third base. This is sort of cute. Maybe save his back natural for his 4th base, or maybe he just doesn't like that base. Reaper gets in here, and this could partially be to mess with KeeN. I mean, if KeeN says, oh, there's no third base at the sort of expected third base location, which he did scout out. Whereas now there's this third base at the lower location. It's not like it will stay a secret for long, I don't think, but it could be putting KeeN on edge a little bit here if he scouts out for the third base. He hasn't confirmed or denied that Queen sort of looked like it might have been going there, but really just forcing the Reaper back. So Leenock having the outer third base is sort of interesting. Now we'll see. The third base is up this game. That's a pretty big improvement from the last game. For those of you that were watching, KeeN sort of just obliterated Leenock, and just with that cute little harassment. And I say cute because it's just something that players could always do, but they don't always do. But it looks so good when a player does decide to do it. So just those bunker blocks, they can always be salvaged and whatnot. Really just messing with Leenock. Leenock, that's something that KeeN's probably practiced versus Zergs a lot more than Leenock has had to deal with. Now a Banshee is on the way for KeeN. He's getting up a third base. No armory or anything this time. So he is going to be possibly going into macro, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw mech on this map. But we'll just have to wait and see. Now these Hellions are poking in. The third base is a little bit exposed. There's these 2 Queens here, however. There is drones. I mean, KeeN could maybe dive onto those drones, but he doesn't commit there. Maybe a little bit cautious, or maybe didn't expect there to be... No, he probably saw the drones. For now, KeeN just staying on the watchtower. Maybe he'll go for a run by or something like that. He's got the Banshee, but no cloak or anything like that. So that's an interesting play, maybe cutting the corner a little bit. And he is going to be playing Bio, as he is going for those barracks and stim. So obviously Bio there. Now we've got the 3 spores. And it's a bit interesting going for the 2 Banshees without cloak. I mean, maybe go for 1 Banshee without cloak, but 2 is a little bit odd from KeeN. I mean, 1 Banshee without cloak is probably going to get about as much done as 2 Banshees without cloak, unless KeeN finds a really nice angle with these. Viking poking in for Leenock, sees the 2 E-bays, so he knows it's Bio. KeeN is a player who does like his Bio play. Now here come the 2 Banshees. They're going to be looking to sort of shark around, get to the back, maybe thinking that the third has Well, KeeN's obviously seen the other third, maybe looking for a potential fourth. We're just sneaking around looking to try and pick off some drones here. They have not been scouted just yet. So if they maybe go all the way around to the back and then come in. Now there is the Spore, there is the Queen here, but these two Banshees can one-shot drones, so we'll just have to see what they can get done. There's 2 drones gone down so far. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so he's getting some damage done there, but these Banshees will take damage here. They're going to work away on these Queens here, well, this Queen, pardon me. Force it back. Some of these gas drones are being harassed. Another one goes down there, but these Banshees are weak. 7 drones, though, for the 2 Banshees. Without investing into the cloak is a very nice play from KeeN. Now KeeN is sort of macroing up. He's got his third up. He's getting up siege tanks. He's getting up his racks. His 1-1. He'll be starting an armory relatively soon to keep his 2-2 rolling through. Or he should be starting an armory relatively soon. Getting up his additional gases. So KeeN looks like he could be willing to go for a timing attack, something along those lines. Just playing the bio, obviously you can go for the drops whenever. Reaper does go down at the watchtower as Leenock is pushing out. Leenock's creep spread is looking very good too, by the way. He's with pushing out at those lower bases, he's really covering the map. Now, he will always be a little vulnerable as this 4th base can be dropped. KeeN can unload units there, but he's got vision, he's got his overlord, so he's prepared for something like that. And now we see these Marines are moving out. They've got the stim. They're going to try and pick off a Queen. They get 1. Transfuse is going down, saving some of the other Queens. So far, good micro from Leenock, keeping those units alive. And now the Lings are back, so only 1 Queen going down was nice. A lot of Transfuses were burned, but the Queens stayed alive. So Leenock playing it well so far. Going to be much more happy with this situation than the previous game. The 2 Banshees have been repaired. They're moving out again. 1 with 2 kills, 1 with 6. The kill hog there. 2-2 on the way. Leenock currently just with the +1 armor. There's the melee started. Small move out with the medivacs for KeeN. Scan going down. KeeN gonna have to get out of there with those Marines, but so far Leenock looking pretty solid this game, pretty defensive. The Banshees have snuck in once again. Did they actually get through the 2 Overlords there? I think they did, as there's the 2 Queens, so we'll see what Leenock's able to get done as far as defending this. May lose one of the Queens. Gonna lose a drone or 2. KeeN can really just hope to get a few drones or really any damage at this point with these. You don't want to deal with these Banshees later on into the game. They have diminishing returns, but another 5 drones is nicely done. Leenock, though, is on 4 bases. He's reaching that scary Zerg macro stage. And you have to deal more and more damage with harassment if you want to try and keep the Zerg down, as Leenock will be reaching that very scary stage. He's morphing Banelings. The closer he gets to becoming maxed out, the more terrifying it will be. KeeN, though, really showing no plans to move out just yet. Well, now he's moving out to take his 4th base. But as far as going for a timing attack, it looks like KeeN is getting set up right now. He's not planning on breaking his opponent. He's getting up a Ghost Academy, so we could be seeing one of these later games here, a Sensor Tower as well. So KeeN's getting pretty dug in here. And now this is actually something pretty interesting in this game that I'm just going to mention it because why not? It could become a factor. Leenock has not taken his sort of gimme base. He's not taking his free one. Of course, versus Terran, it can always be harassed, but later on when the players are pushing out, if this does go into a late game, it will be nice for Leenock to have that extra base, whereas KeeN can only go outwards as he's already took his in-base natural, which of course Terran would always do. He wouldn't change it, but that is something worth noting. I guess I wouldn't be surprised to see Leenock maybe trying to take a 5th base soon. If he keeps up with his creep spread, he could be looking very scary in this game. Now, KeeN has tried to deny some of it. Looks like we've got some of the Queens. There we are. So he's still spreading some of his creep, but KeeN's doing a good job denying it. Now we have some Banelings morphing, interestingly enough. 4 Banelings in a bit of an odd spot there. Maybe they were going to be for a drop. Yeah, Overlords are moving across the map. But KeeN is getting ready for this. We'll he's getting ready for what Leenock is potentially going for. He got a Ghost Academy. No Ghost building just yet. But he's making more starports, but there's going to be a Greater Spire. There's going to be Broodlords on the way for Leenock. And now it is a larger map, so there is more time for the Terran player to defend against something like this. He'll have more time to react when he does identify its broods. But for now, KeeN did invest in this sort of ground-based style. He hasn't gotten too much done. He's done a good job denying the creep, but that's about it. Now he's going to have to get out of here with these units. Eventually, these players are going to want to try and reach the best army they can, so that may mean a few less Lings, a few less Hydras for Leenock, for some higher tier units such as Broodlords, and then he'll likely invest in other techs as the game goes on. Ghosts are on the way for KeeN. They're one of those sort of glass cannons when it does come to dealing with Zerg tech. It can either go so well or so bad for Terran players. Scan's going down for KeeN. He's wondering what's going on. Sees the Greater Spire. Sees no Ultralisk Cavern, so we'll see if he keeps making ghosts. He's actually starting Corvid Reactors, so this is one of the questions. I personally haven't seen too many of these games since the Raven nerf went through, but are Terrans still going to make Ravens at this point? KeeN, he made the early Ghost Academy, so that's sort of indicating he's fine with a later game. He's throwing up a lot of tech, and this game is going to go the distance. It's possible that one of these players could just move out and either win or lose the game, but this game really can go the distance. With all these tanks for KeeN getting set up right now, it's going to be very tough for Leenock to break him, but he does have to retreat. He's going to have to buy time here as he is teching into this anti-Broodlords, and these siege tanks are actually misrallied. This is such a huge loss. He's going to try and save some of them with the medivacs. He saves one siege tank. That's actually a huge loss, as these Hydras and Banelings are still a massive threat. KeeN's lost a fair bit of army supply there. He's still got 1 or 2 tanks left. 4 siege tanks in total, but those were some big losses right now, and this could be the window for Leenock. I mean, he's got a big bank as well that he could hit KeeN multiple times. He's going for it right now. There's the Ghost set up, but they're nowhere near the Broodlords for sniping. There's just not that much bio on the ground for KeeN. Back at his base as he is counterattacking. He's trying to hit the 4th base, and he may be able to kill it off right now. Leenock trying to defend it with a few Banelings that are morphing and with a few Lings, but KeeN can get all the counter damage done in the world, but if he doesn't hold, that's just it. He's actually rallying these units out to their death. He needs to sort of correct that. These Hydras, if they engage into the siege tanks, that can be very poor for them, as if those units go down. This is becoming another wonky sort of base trade game with these guys. The bio for KeeN is moving down, going to cancel or kill that 5th base here, but Leenock has another one up. So far, though, the planetary is still standing for KeeN, so he's not in a horrible economic position. Queens even came for transfuse here, but KeeN doesn't have that much army supply. He's got a bit of bio right now. Marines are getting on top of the Hydras, which is nice. The Broodlords have actually gone down, so it looks like this army of Leenock will be cleaned up by KeeN. But KeeN did lose his natural base. The Lings are trying to go in for a run by for Leenock. Does he raise the depot? He does just in time there. That's absolutely huge for KeeN. That's going to really make sort of consolidating a lot easier for him as these players try and gather their forces to figure out what's next. And what's next for Leenock is 9 Ultralisks here. KeeN has a few Ghosts, but there's going to be more Ultras than Ghosts here, so this could be a little rough for our Terran player, as Leenock's starting to remax right now. And remax he is. He's got up this 4th base. He took a bit of damage too, but he's rebuilding bases. KeeN is going to have these few bases up as well. He's going to need to maybe rebuild a few more SCVs here, but he's also going for some drops. However, the army, the main army for Leenock at this point is going to be scary. Now, it is just Ultras. There's no Infestors, so KeeN can always try and play around this. I'd like to see a Corruptor or 2 coming out of Leenock, and really, I mean a few Corruptors, some anti-air. The Hydra, there's actually really not many Hydras at all. So, and there's the Infestors on the way too. Pathogen Glands has not been gotten. So, they will take a while to get energy there, but with it, just Infestors and Ultras are still so good in this day and age. There's a few Ghosts, there's some Siege Tanks, but it's going to be very tough for KeeN to deal with this with all these Lings which are going to wrap around. Snipes are going to go down, a few of the Ultras are going to pop, but there's so many Ultras. Ghosts are retreating to get more snipes off. This is actually pretty much the best engagement KeeN could hope for. The Banelings have mainly all been detonated at this point. Now the question is, can he hold the top of this ramp? This Siege Tank has got its work cut out for him. The Overseers go down. I'm not sure if the Ghosts of Cloak, they actually do. So Leenock does get pushed back, but GG actually gets called. KeeN takes the 3-0. I'm a little confused there. Let's just have a look here at the end situation. But after that last engagement, so GG gets called. Now I guess back at home, KeeN was harassing a little bit, but I don't think Leenock was quite dead there. I mean, that wasn't a great engagement, but yeah, he did decide to tap out. KeeN did have a drop or two planned, but I guess Leenock with losing that arm, he wasn't in the worst situation in the world. I guess there was all the ghosts for KeeN, so Leenock dealing with that would have been tough. But yeah, so that's the first best of 5 here. That is done. KeeN manages to take the 3-0. So we're going to be getting on into the next match, which is going to be MMA versus Solar. In the meantime, guys, feel free to leave a favorite for the stream. Follow me on Twitter. My username is LaughNgamez. You can follow me on YouTube. We've got a few of the Afreeca World VODs, and I'll eventually get more and more of them up there. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning on in, and we shall see you guys when we get into the next match. It's going to be MMA versus Solar, another great match, and I shall see you guys then.